Allo, allo, allo. We are back with another historic Brawl deck tech. This week I'm doing my Hidden Enchantress deck, led by Esika, God of the Tree. 3 mana, legendary creature. Vigilance, taps to add a color, mana of any color, and other legendary creatures you control have Vigilance and tap to add 1 mana of any color, 1/4. And the backside is a 5 mana, 5 color, the Prismatic Bridge legendary enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom in a random order. So normally, this deck is built as a bunch of big bomby creatures slash planeswalkers, and it's a really frightening deck. You can't let the Prismatic Bridge stick around. In this version, the best thing you're likely to hit off of that is Goldspan Dragon, which is a great card, but it is not what people expect when they see Esika. Though, 3 mana Manadork, phenomenal. So, this deck is actually built around Yenna, Redtooth Regent, a 4 mana legendary creature with the ability pay 2, tap it, choose target enchantment you control that doesn't have the same name as another permanent you control. Create a token that is a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. If it is an aura, untap Yenna, then scry 2. Activate only as a sorcery. And she's a 4/4. So that's right, we are cloning our enchantments, particularly auras. Or more particularly, 3 blind mice. But we'll get to that in a minute. First things first, we start with the ramp package. And there's nothing too interesting here. We have more enchantments than average. We've got a Transcendent Envoy, which makes auras cost 1 less. Very cool. We've got a Sanctum Weaver. It's a 2 mana Manadork that taps for X mana of 1 color, where X is the number of enchantments you control. Very cool. Yeah. And Goldspan Dragon's there, because treasures are good, and when you target it with an aura, it makes extra treasures that tap for double mana. Nothing else in here is worth reporting on. A bunch of things that cost low mana and tap for mana. Though Chromatic Lantern and Dryad of the Elysian Grove are both necessary because we are, as always, a 5-color deck. Moving on. We've got our interaction / protection package, starting with Alseid of Life's Bounty, a 1 mana enchantment creature with a lifelink, and you pay 1, sack it to give target creature or enchantment protection of the color of your choice until end of turn. After that, we've got Curator's Ward, a 3 mana enchantment aura, which enchants a permanent, gives it hexproof, and if it is a historic permanent, you draw 2 cards when it leaves the battlefield. I really like this one. It so frequently just helps the deck hum along, and hexproof is not a keyword we get super often anymore. I think those are the only protections. We've got a piece of recursion in the 3 mana sorcery, Bala Get Recovery. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand, and on the backside it is a land, so that's always nice. Then after that we've got Swords to Plowshares, a classic, exile target creature. Its controller gains life equals power for 1 mana. Then the enchantments. We've got Sky Tether, giving something Defender and losing flying. Ossification, an O-ring effect that attaches to a land for 2 mana. Seal Away, an O-ring effect with flash that exiles a tapped creature. Kenrith's Transformation, which can neuter a strong commander by turning it into a 3/3 with no abilities, and it even draws you a card when it enters, all for 2 mana. Absolutely broken. Touch the Spirit Realm is a normal O-ring, 3 mana, exile a artifact or creature until it leaves the battlefield. Though this one can also do the 2 mana version to channel, so you discard it and exile a creature or artifact or a creature you control, and return to the battlefield at the end of the beginning of the next end step. So it plays both roles, both removal and protection for your commander, / whatever, all of your things. Next up we've got Grafted Identity. Ooh, this one's a doozy. A 4 mana control magic. As an additional cost to cast the spell, you sacrifice a creature. You enchant a creature, you control it, and it gets +1/+1. Ooh, making copies of this, super efficient. Then the Akroan War, basically the same card. At 4 mana, it's an enchantment saga. Chapter 1, gain control of target creature for as long as the Crone War remains in the battlefield. Chapter 2, until end of turn, creatures your opponent control attack each combative fable. Chapter 3, each tapped creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. So, yeah, gaining control of your opponent's creatures for any amount of time with these are pretty good. Elspeth Conquers Death, another enchantment saga. Chapter 1 exiles a permanent that costs 3 or more. Chapter 2, non-creature spells cost 2 more to cast. And Chapter 3, you get a creature or planeswalker back from your graveyard with a +1/+1 counter or a loyalty counter. It's decent. Time Wipe is a great board wipe for a deck like this. Great board wipe for a lot of decks, honestly. I think this is an underappreciated one. Just getting to save one of your best things or not have to pay your commander tax again with your board wipe is super, super nice. It's a 5 mana, 2 white and blue. Return a creature you control to its owner's hand, then destroy all creatures. And lastly, we've got An Extraordinary Journey. XX blue enchantment. When it enters the battle, so you exile X creatures, and then their controllers may play them, and whenever they do, you draw a card once per turn. Very cool card. A lot of text on it though. We're not doing that. Next up is our tutor package. We've got Idyllic Tutor, 3 mana, tutor a enchantment into your hand. Very nice. The Huntsman's Redemption, an enchantment saga. 3 mana. Create a 3/3 beast as Chapter 1. Chapter 2, you may sacrifice a creature. If you do, search your library for a creature or a basic land card and put it into your hand. Chapter 3, 2 creatures get +2/+2 and gain trample on the end of turn. But that is so thoroughly not what it's here for. Though, can be irrelevant. Eldritch Evolution, I run this in so many decks. 3 mana sorcery, sack a creature, and tutor a creature that costs 2 more or less than that creature, and put it directly onto the battlefield. Very, very strong. And you do exile it afterwards. And lastly, we've got Enigmatic Incarnation. Finally got a deck that this functions in. 4 mana, 2 a green and a blue. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another enchantment. If you do, search your library for a creature card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrifice enchantment's mana value. Put that card on the battlefield, then shuffle. Such a cool card. Always loved it, never played it. But we finally found its home, and it is good here. Alright, next up we've got our Enchantress package. Most of these say whenever you play, or whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, draw a card. That's what Eidolon Blossom does. Satyr Enchanter. Tinglespan Lookout only cares about auras. Setessan Champion also gets a +1/+1 counter. Enchantress, yeah, this one, same deal. Same deal, but you also gain a life. Now, Season of Growth, whenever you target a creature you control with a spell, draw a card. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield, scry 1. Sounds decent. Thram, whenever you cast an aura, draw a card. Korra Spirit Dancer, same deal. Auras, draw a card, and it gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it. Very nice. And lastly, we've got Hateful Eidolon, a 1 mana, 1/2 with lifelink enchantment creature. And whenever an enchanted creature dies, draw a card for each aura you controlled that was attached to it. Very, very strong card. Alrighty, let's move on to some of the meat. So, I already read Yenna, the cloner of enchantments. But next up we've got Parallel Lives, the doubler of your enchantment clones, and any other tokens. For a 4-mana enchantment, if an effect would put 1 or more tokens under your control, create twice that many instead. Same text is on Mondrak, Glory Dominus. In addition, this is a 4/4 that you can pay 1 and a Phyrexian White, sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures, and put an indestructible counter on Mondrak. Very cool card. And I believe that is all of our doublers there. So next up we've got the big heavy hitters. We've got 3, let's do the clones first. We've got a clone package because all of my decks have a clone package. Copy Enchantment, 3 mana, copies an enchantment. Glasspool Mimic, 3 mana, copies a creature. Is also a land on the backside. We've got Mirror Maid, an enchantment that copies an artifact or enchantment at 3 mana. And we've got Fable the Mirror Breaker, an Enchantment Saga. It makes a 2/2. That makes a treasure whenever it attacks as Chapter 1. Chapter 2, you may discard up to 2 cards, or discard up to 2 cards. If you do, draw that many cards. Chapter 3, exile this saga, return to the battlefield as Reflections of Kiki-Jiki. You can pay 1, tap it, create a token that is a copy of another non-legendary creature you control, except it has haste. Sack it at the beginning of the next end step. It's not really super on theme here, but it always tends to do so much work that I'm like, yeah, it just goes in. You gotta have some strong cards. And then we've got Arcano's Sun's Grace, a Flying Pegasus for 4 mana. It is a 3/4. And whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, make a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. And as long as you have this, your Pegasus creatures have lifelink. Now, lastly, we've got our 3 Blind Mice, a 3 mana enchantment. This is what I really built the deck around. 3 mana saga. Chapter 1, create a 1/1 white mouse creature token. Chapters 2 and 3, you create a token that is a copy of target token you control. So, you get 3 mice, and then on the last turn, at Chapter 4, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance. Or, you make copies of 3 blind mice, and then your 3 blind mice make copies of 3 blind mice, and then you have hundreds of blind mice. Even better with Parallel Lives, obviously, in Mondrak. And if you're not too into 3 blind mice, you can do a Vesuvian Duplimancy. Whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single artifact or creature you control, create a token that's a copy of that artifact or creature, except it's not legendary. Do you want a swarm of Yennas? I want a swarm of Yennas. Very, very fun. And our last section is just the enchantments that make the deck hum. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enchantments. 7 if we count this one, it's a little bit slower. But 7-ish enchantments that draw a card when they enter the battlefield or leave the battlefield, or in this one's case, when the 3rd chapter goes off and you have a 4/4 in play. A 4/4 or better in play. You draw 2 cards. But aside from all those, we've got a History of Benalia, which just makes some board presence. I'm just trying to survive against the aggro decks in this format. We've got a Ley Line of Anticipation, which lets you play at flash speed, and it is free to put into play if it's in your opening hand. Very cool, very fun. And we've got 2 more little sections in here. We've got Zur the Eternal Schemer, who could have been another side commander for this deck. It's a 3 mana, 1/4 legendary creature. It is white, blue, and black. It has flying, and enchantment creatures you control have Death Touch, Lifelink, and Hexproof. And then you can pay 2 mana, and target non-aura enchantment you control becomes a creature in addition to its other types, and has base power and toughness equal to its mana value. That effect does not end at the end of the turn, so it just permanently animates your enchantments. Super fun card. Yeah. You can make living parallel lives that clone themselves infinitely. Very, very fun. Or using Vesuvian Duplimancy to make many clones of many things. And aside from that, we've got All That Glitters. Gives +1, it's an aura for 2. Gives +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. And we have Ancestral Mask, 3 mana, enchant a creature. Creature gets +2/+2 for each enchantment on the battlefield. Those are our heavy hitters to try to close out the game, usually slapped onto, say, a Goldspan Dragon or some such. Alright, that is that for the deck tech. Let's move on to some gameplay. Let's hop right into it. I really enjoy this deck. It is not as powerful or as consistent as some of my decks, but it's really fun to play, and every now and again I get to do the thing. But usually you don't get to do the whole thing. So let's see what we can get going today. Hidden Enchantress. I love my 5-color decks built around commanders that aren't normally 5 colors. The first time I stumbled into the Goldspan Dragon plus my enchantments interaction, I didn't have Goldspan Dragon in the deck, and I'd gained control of someone else's and then gone off on the next turn, and I was like, oh, this needs to be in the deck. Well, I Oof, this is going to be rough. I am very, very likely to lose this game. It's possible. It's possible I win this game, but I don't expect to do so. And we've got our opponent on the play. With cute sleeves, what the heck is this? Alright, we've got a breeding pool into a Kami of the Bamboo Groves to put a Godless Shrine into play tapped. And 2 stepped. And I'm not going anywhere particularly fast. I don't even have the 2 green to play Esika right now, which is unfortunate. And they naturally had the mana they needed for everything. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think I'm winning this. Kinnon's just so fast. Could play 3 Blind Mice. It's not particularly good in this case. I don't even want to play Ancestral Mask. I just want to top deck something. Maybe I should have just to block, but they're about to bury me in... Oh. Never mind. And we're getting a little bit unfortunate. Let's pass it back. See what they have to do. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. They didn't do anything on the end step. Are we both stuck on... Hello. Okay, well I got to 4 mana. So I can play... Vesuvan Duplimancy. See if they'll let me resolve that. Could have gone for Esika here, but I figure... Okay. What on earth? Interesting. Ah, that's an interesting card. I've never actually seen this. Were they just holding up mana to do that? Kind of looks like they might have been. We're at 5 mana. Do we have all of our colors? No, we don't. We are missing a white and or a black. I'll just play Esika then. I kind of expect things to go poorly from here on in, but yeah, it's fine. Are they going to have another counterspell too? Do I BM a little bit? Yeah, they're counterspelling me. Give him the snooze. Give him the snooze face. I don't hold this against them. I recently ground out a bunch of wins playing a Tulane deck, which was also not particularly fun or interesting. I mean, you know, it's fun to play it, but I don't expect anyone to be impressed with my talent in building a Tulane deck. It's like, wow, you put Tulane as your commander and then a bunch of creatures in the deck? Good job. I think I just still want to... Let's see what we top deck off of this Runamite. I think there's no world where that's another counterspell, right? Please. Just stop it. Get help, man. Maybe they'll let me resolve removal. Doesn't really do much here, but... Nice. But they let me do it, so that's cool. No attacks. I assume they're just playing him again and then activating the ability. Yep. Primeval Titan is in fact a very strong card. I have not crafted one for myself yet, but I'm sure I will eventually. Come on, activate your ability. 1, 2, 1, 2. So, Nykthos nets 4 mana right now. I guess we just go ahead and play 3 Blind Mice out, and then Ancestral Mask and see if we can race them somehow. It's basically impossible to race this deck at this moment, but this is what we're doing. I want to know what that last card is. Alright, let's see what they get. And Elvish Mystic, nice. That's what I like to see. Oh, they can do it again too, wow. They've got a lot of mana. Okay, that's a little bit scarier. Well, I'm actually going to hold off on the attack then. This is very unfortunate. This thing's fun. Whenever it hits, you get to put a creature off the top of the top X or X the amount of damage dealt. Put it into play. Ooh, and a land. Wow. Very cool. Yeah, well, I assume they've got some kind of removal for my creature now. Or they just want more lands from their prime time. We'll attempt that block. And we will see if they have removal for it. Nope. Wow. Maybe I should have killed the Osier. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's an old Gnawbone. Quite unfortunate. Old Gnawbone is quite the card. It's another one I haven't crafted. It's just that the like 7, 8, 9 mana slot. There's a Crater Hoof that fills that role so often. And I don't necessarily run a Crater Hoof in every deck, but yeah, I don't know. Oh. Well. I guess I'm losing my 10-10 there. They're losing their Thorn Mammoth. Yay, I get a second mouse. Surely my mice will solve this problem for me. Go ahead and play an Archon of Sun's Grace. 6 plus 7 in the air, but I can block the 7 in the air now. I'm technically not dead, but I am basically dead, and my opponent is slow playing. If they hit something good enough off of this, I'll probably just concede to move on. Oh yeah, that's a 12/12 with trample, which means I am now dead. What do they put into play? A big old turtle. Good game. Yay. I've seen enough. We've got enough trample in play. 18 trample and then the rest of their board. Well, I didn't really expect to win against the Kinnan deck with this. I would say Kinnan is an A tier deck for sure. Now, depending on how you build it, it can be stronger or weaker. But it's pretty hard to fall out of the A tier for a Kinnan deck. I think it's pretty similar with a Chulane deck. Chulane's the 5 mana Bant Commander, where whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card and then you can put an extra land into play. And also pay 3 mana, tap it to bounce one of your creatures to its owner's hand. Which is very, very strong. I guess I probably put Ragavan in that same category. The 2/1 monkey for 1 mana that makes treasures and steals cards off the top of your opponent's deck. Just very, very good. Though that one's obviously hitting on a different axis. Oh boy. Now we are playing against control, probably. Which is really not what you want to see, especially, well, this hand's decent. But I did draw the 2 cards that care about stealing my opponent's creatures, which is not necessarily going to be the most effective against this kind of deck. Let's play the Plains and the Scrap Gorger and get it countered probably. Yo boy. We're in for it. I love these sleeves. And can I resolve a delighted halfling, please? How about a Llanowar Loam Speaker? Please, sir. May I have some mana? Nice. Oh, that's so good. That's from Alchemy Baldur's Gate, right? Yeah. Wild. Oh, I guess you do have to put a card back, but still. Really? I feel like they picked the wrong creature there. So now I get to do this. That is something that Llanowar Loam Speaker can in fact do. Can turn your lands into 3/3s. Not generally what I'm here for, but you know, I'll take it. Oh, that wasn't their commander. That was a different Teferi. I didn't even realize. They all basically do the same thing, right? Bet this time they're gonna bounce the Loam Speaker. Oh, no, they're untapping some lands, so that's not great for me. Alright, now we do some thinking. 1 mana of any color, 2 mana of any color. 3, 4, 5. Pay 2 life. We're gonna attempt to do the same thing as last time. Wow. I am very shocked that that's working. Wait, what? Oh, right, he plussed it. Now, you can't counter this because of Delighted Halfling. No, by all means, try to counter it. That's kind of funny. They definitely did not want me to resolve a Prismatic Bridge. I just need this to overcome the sheer card advantage that my opponent is going to be enjoying. And maybe I'll be able to do it. It is really awkward to have 3 pieces of creature interaction in hand while your opponent is playing a hard control deck like this. Nothing but counter spells, draw spells, and planeswalkers here. Oh, cute. Okay, we got a Satyr Wavefinder, which is awkward as all heck. I could just cycle the seal away. Oh, ridiculous. So many lands. Well, let's go ahead and attack with a Sun Petal Grove. Probably should have attacked with a Steam Vents, but whatever.
How long do you want to wait for?
Okay, well. How important is it? Yeah, I think I'll play the Plains. And then end the turn. Cycle one of these on their turn. Resolve. They're at 6 mana, 7 mana, assuming they have a land in hand, which is not great for me. Having a prismatic bridge in play and online is not weak though, but as this is not really a prismatic bridge deck, it's not great for me. It's just pretty good. Ugh, that's so bad. We got a mana dork. Okay, if we idyllic tutor, what do we tutor for? Guess we could get an enigmatic incarnation, probably. Or a Eidolon of Blossoms. Let's see if they let us resolve it. Is there a legendary enchantment I can get? Just to make it uncounterable? Don't believe so. Let's grab that Eidolon of Blossoms. Yeah, we just need the cards. Alright, they let me actually play it. Very cool. Let's go ahead and put an Audacity on my Satyr. They let me draw more cards. Very cool. A little bit confused. I'm sure they have stuff they can be doing here. No, yeah, okay, there it is. I go and I boop him for 2. Yeah, I think I'd rather have the clone than the cycling for 3. Cloning for 3 is generally better than cycling for 3. Alright, they've got the board wipe. Take action. And now we go ahead and replay the prismatic bridge and get it countered this time. Yeah. Control. It's a life. I've lived this life before, so I can't hold it against them too hard, but I'm pretty sure we can't win from here. They're looking at my lands. What are they doing? Curse of silencing me. I assume Esika is getting even more expensive now. Target creature, target creature. Destroy all creatures. I can still play that side. Let's go ahead and play a Chromatic Lantern. They are down to not many cards in hand, but I can only assume that their deck is made to function like this. Yeah, those do nothing for me. We're just gonna ship it back. They're gonna slowly draw closer to their ultimate and then kill me with it. Or slowly exile all of my lands with it. Ah, Approach of the Second Sun, okay. At least my end is not too far off now. I feel I kind of deserve this for playing so much True Lane the last couple days, but it does not make it any more pleasant. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna give him a good game. And concede. I don't need to be spending too much time waiting on that. Let's go in for game 3. I'll probably play until I get at least one good one. But I am definitely swinging at a much lower power level with this deck than many of my previous decks. But it is fun, I swear. I've recently run into the bug where I can't play with friends, which is super frustrating. We just keep on getting the disconnected from server error when you try to do a direct challenge or friendly challenge. And I would really love it if that got fixed at some point. It's affecting a lot of people. I know the limited resources guys usually have a direct challenge they do with the Lords of Limited with their some of their limited decks, but they haven't been able to do it during this set, which is really unfortunate. And those are like, you know, pretty big creators. Let me think about this before I start playing cards willy-nilly. Let's get a tap land in. Wait on the Evolving Wilds. But yeah, I love Limited. I like listening to what happens with their feud, and I'm really hoping they can get back to it soon. Now, also Balmor, incredible deck, but it's a lot less incredible when your Balmor turns into a Kenrith, or into an Elk rather. Though I can probably wait to Elk this Balmor. But yeah, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, creatures you control get +1/+0 and trample until end of turn. Very strong. I also have a Balmor deck. And while I have it in the A tier, it's kind of on the low end of A. That is to say, it often loses to Ragfan. No? Yeah, okay, fair enough. They already played a land, right? Yeah. Alrighty then. Now we go. I don't think I'm dying next turn or anything, so we can go Watery Grave, pay 2 life, Setessan Champion. Hateful Eidolon. Okay, cool. No Lightning Bolt. Pretty happy about that. And now I have something to block the Elk that I'm about to give them. Let me discard a card. Okay, this is fine. Now we're gonna go right ahead and play a Utopia Sprawl, targeting this, choosing... Yeah, I could get a single red mana going. Makes sense. I could actually play a backside of Esika, but I think I need to Elk this Balmor. I'm gonna Audacity my Hateful Eidolon. Yeah, my Hateful Eidolon. Ooh, Sithis. In that case, I'm gonna play... Wait a second. Sithis needs 2 specific colors of mana, which means I can't play both this turn. Yeah, unfortunate. Let's go ahead and kind of transformation this Balmor. Ooh, do they have a counter spell for that? Ooh, shore up. Okay, I might be in trouble now. All of a sudden, I'm in trouble. Let's Evolving Wilds, grab a white source. Yeah, let's grab a white source. Alright. And we could go attacking a little bit, but I think I'll pass on that. I want to have some blockers. What did we get? A double striking orc. Okay, now we're hoping to resolve our extraordinary journey. Let's slow him down a little bit. Let's go ahead and place a double block here. They can probably kill my Hateful Eidolon. Well, they could definitely kill my Hateful Eidolon. But that'll just draw me a card, and I have a Sisyphus, just in case they kill the Cetacean Champion as well. I guess they could choose to just kill that one. Which would be fine, honestly. If they expend a bunch of resources here, I'd be okay with that. Alright, not so bad. Gain some life from the Hateful Eidolon. Now let's see. Blue, blue. 1, 2. 1, 2. If I want to get rid of both of their creatures, I'm not going to be able to place this turn. Let's try it. One, two. Okay, which one are you giving hexproof to, though? Alright. And let's go ahead and play the Steam Vents tapped. And no attacks here. There's a Blast Zone in play. I'm not in too much danger of dying as long as I've got lifelink there. I'm just in a little bit of danger of running out of gas. Next target creatures phase out, huh? That's not bad here. Some might go so far as to say that's quite good here. I'll block. And draw some cards, 2 to be precise. Very nice. Also very nice. Let's see. 2, 3, and I'll have more. Just enchant this Watery Grape real quick. One, two, 3. Do I even want... Yeah, I'll play the Sisyphus and bounce that to hand with a time wipe. Next turn. Draw a card, gain a life. I assume they're going to play Balmor next turn. I'm going to hold on to that Transcendent Envoy for the time being. Right. End the turn. If they have a counter spell for the time wipe, I'll be in some trouble. No, they're going up to 2 mana on that, which is kind of fine by me. Resolve. if they'd been intending to use that blast zone on 2, they would just have used it here. They would have probably done it on 1, honestly. Before last turn, rather. Alright, go ahead, go to attacks. My turn, huh? Alright. I am, in fact, going to sacrifice a creature. And then I will tutor up myself a... Ooh. It's tempting to grab Goldspan, but I'm going to grab Yenna. And then I'm going to go ahead and cast Time Wipe. Just a moment. I hope I can respond to that. It didn't tap my Paradise Druid, which I really would have preferred it to. I would definitely have preferred to keep some mana. Very nice. We went off of a Time Wipe. Okay, well, I guess I can grapple with a Balmor deck, just doing tempo things. Not so bad. I feel like that was more a failing of a Balmor deck than a success of my Enchantress deck, but I mean, I guess I had a lifelink enchanted creature. Yeah. My opponent was in fact out of gas, and I had managed to keep gas by drawing cards off of enchantments. Yeah, never mind. That was a success. I'm being silly. The problem with this deck is that it can win like that. It can win by enchanting creatures and attacking. But really, all I ever want to do is make way too many copies of 3 Blind Mice. Like, that's where real victory is. Take your 15-minute turn where you're making hundreds of tokens. So much fun. And when that's your bar for success, you're not going to get it very often. Oh, God. I'm running into nothing but top-tier commanders right now. Heliod. Very, very much so known as a top-tier commander. This is a known entity. Depending on which version, I might have time to do things. There are aggressive versions, and then the more life gain fun versions where you draw a bunch of cards for gaining life and whatnot. This guy's sleeves don't move. Come on, opponent. Hello. Yep, there we go. Oh boy. Oh, I'm not dead. In fact, this is pretty good. Yeah. What color do I want that to make? Probably extra green. So I can go... Okay, I found my black source. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could play Esika this turn. And honestly, I think that's correct. My opponent definitely doesn't know what I'm up to right now, but they will know soon enough when I start ripping enchantment creatures off of the top. Or Satyr, yeah, these ones. Enchantresses. Now is there the Enchanter. And I can wake up my Prismatic Bridge next turn and attack for 5 with lifelink. Obviously, I am in a bit of danger here anyway. Okay, Cosmos Elixir. This makes me feel like it's the slower version of the deck, so maybe I have a chance. Resolve. Grabbing the Yenna for free like that was excellent, excellent luck. Let's go ahead and wake up the Prismatic Bridge. which is kind of leaving myself open to some danger, but heck it, right? Oh, wrong mana. Might as well wake up Enchantress's presence as well. If I'm trying to aggro them, then this is correct. Let's see, next turn I can copy the rune, but not... Well, I guess I could copy the Enchantress's presence as well. Oh, I can even make a copy of the prismatic bridge. Jeez. I didn't realize that was a thing. It is pretty gross. Nice, a Paradise Druid. Resolve. Let's see. First things first, we make a copy of Rune of Might. We attach it to Zur, because Zur flies. We scry this away. We probably leave that on top. We draw it. We don't have very much white mana in play. Play a white source. Play a Sky Tether onto that guy, but only after we spend like blue to copy Enchantress's presence. Then we tether this down. Draw some more cards. Got a Sanctum Weaver now, which is very, very strong. We play a Sanctum Weaver. Resolve. Our opponent draws some cards. This is fine. Resolve. They put their counter somewhere. Now I finally go ahead and exile their commander. Yeah, okay. This was much better. I like this. I like it when my deck gets to do things. Yeah, I'm making my opponent draw cards, which isn't great, but I'm also dealing damage and discarding my down to hand size at the end of the turn. Let's see, what can we do next turn? We'll figure it out then. It's kind of hard to see ahead in a deck like this where you can draw so many cards. But I think we might be well on our way to just winning. I'm not blocking 2 damage. I'll try to pile as many auras onto Zur as I can, since he does fly. Resolve. What did we get? Draw every time I play an aura. Yeah, we get it. You have triggers. Command tower. I don't actually have an aura to play right now. A little bit awkward. Let's think. We do have a Sanctum Weaver, so we have a ton of mana this turn. Let's just start our engines. Resolve. Ugh, so many triggers. Resolve. Spending mana poorly here, which is a little bit unfortunate, but Okay, we found some removal. Just tap this for 9 white mana right now. Let's go ahead and exile Heliod. And I believe we just win here. Good game. Very cool. Yeah, Enchantress. 5-color Enchantress with Yenna as the core. Man. Okay. Now, what are we at? 55 minutes? Yeah. Alright. Alright, that has been my Hidden Enchantress deck. As always, it has been an absolute pleasure playing today. This has been the Art of Dying, and I'll see y'all next time.